Hey guys, it's James. I'm in Madrid right now, and I'm stopped by. I was trying to go to the Prado Museum, but instead it didn't seem like it was open, so I went to the Jardín Botánico, and I thought it'd be a cool place to shoot a video because it's very calm here, good acoustics, and hopefully you can hear me as well. So let's get into it. Last few days I've been considering what it takes to create a strong frame of reality, and if you've studied, into human interaction and stuff, you found that there's this idea of who has the dominant frame and who's coming from the stronger sense of reality in a way, and so I think that having a strong sense of reality can really tremendously boost. I don't know if you want to say boost, but it improve interpersonal activity, and it can kind of gives a sense of charisma to others. Usually it's complemented by a sense of vision or power or warmness. Depending on who you are. But in general, I found that I think that having a strong sense of reality comes from two things. And one of those is having a strong sense of values and living by those values, and also being completely present to the moment so that you can realize that you stick to those values. And you see this a lot in Europe, and especially in Spain and most European countries, and in the big cities there's a performer scene. There's the street performers, and there's the train performers, and there's the athletes and the dancers, and the beggars even, and the people who are on the street. And just walking around the cities, and my thinking mind, I think a lot, so I see this a lot, and it makes me really consider their strategy, because in a way, a very subtle, not so direct way, but they're looking for a reward. The psychological reward, just as like when you're going out to speak to women, or just have fun, you're looking for a good time. And so I think that these two things can kind of be compared in a way. And so if you notice, sometimes if you pass a musician, you can tell if they're really passionate about what they're doing by if they look at you, or if they're just completely in the moment and just enjoying themselves. And so that's kind of what I want you to consider, if you're going out, is that are you living in your own sense of reality and living by your values, or are you looking for other people's values to live by? And so it's kind of if you approach a woman, it's when you start talking to her, you get that sense of so tell me about yourself, how are you doing, you're looking for her to kind of give you an idea of value. And it can be quite a revelation, I think, that for guys, when they realize, some guys, for me it's been true, that to realize that women don't know everything, and that they're not these supreme magical beings. They're just humans like us, and looking for their own sense of security and safety, and sexual desire is trying to be fulfilled. They're dealing with the same things as us, but they just do it a little bit differently in a way that we find very attractive. And probably maybe for them, men aren't the complete answer either. It's interesting how there's that break between men and women in that way. But anyway, about living by a strong sense of values is that it's that sense, if you're with a woman and something that she does or that you do, or if you have a certain way of being, that you don't deter from that to supplicate to her in a way. And so this gets messy, when it comes down to making compromises, going with the flow of things. If it's I'm gonna do it this way, and then someone's let's do this, and it's a little bit different, it's not quite what exactly your way of doing it, that's okay. And so, but in general, I think that you should have time for yourself, enough time for yourself when you are completely committed to your values and you do not stray from them at all. And then from there you can become more internally validated. You're not looking outside of yourself to find someone to validate your existence or to give you values to follow you. You're following your own values, so you feel validated and you feel internally you get good emotions from that. You feel like you're on your purpose and that you're doing a difference. For me right now, I'm shooting this video, and I always try to shoot my videos, with in relative peace. I don't try to make something that involves other people. But yeah, it's time for me to reflect on my life and to talk about what I like to talk about. So it's living by my values basically. And so you really have to think about what your values are as well. If you have to take time out to really write down your values and say why they're important to you. A value isn't just like a emotion or a trait like courage or love or faith or anything like that. It can also just be activities like maybe like reading books or traveling or spending time with friends. It's the same thing. So the values are the basis by which I think that we make all of our decisions. So it says a lot about you what your values are, and I think it's worth your time to go ahead and try to figure them out. A few of them for me are things like I love traveling, I love expression, I love self-expression, and I love experimenting with expression. I love going out and just trying wacky things that don't make any pickup sense, but are interesting. Or I like trying new things, being creative. I like socializing. I love challenges. These are just some of my values, and so. Well, and that's the other thing about convincing other people about your values is that people will buy into the reality of someone else if they're so committed to their values that that the other person can see that they're very passionate about what they're doing. And like I said before, if you're walking around in the city and you see someone who's really into their music, and you can tell that they really love it, and you can tell when they're faking it or when they're not. There's a sense of false confidence. Have we heard that one before? Well, in Barcelona and Plaza Catalunya, it's this very center, or at least it's kind of the business cultural center of Barcelona, is Plaza Catalunya. And I think it has the biggest metro station in Barcelona as well. And in the very center of the station there's a woman who plays violin, and she's very, very, very passionate. You can tell that she actually enjoys playing her instrument. And she gets a lot of money for it, And so in the game it's kind of the same. I think that you can kind of relate this to, someone who's, just playing for money, or someone who really enjoys it. At first you start going out, wanting to, have sex or, say the right thing or something, and then maybe one day you relax and you start dancing, and somehow your energy flows a little bit better, and then you're able to talk to people, and just over time of continuously going out, you begin to actually enjoy socializing with people. And you may realize something that a lot of society doesn't actually realize, is that socializing is very enjoyable, and relating to other people is very enjoyable. I personally think that, well, there's a sense of relating, but also there's a sense of discovering your value. And when I think that a lot of times when people talk to each other, it's kind of a way to talk about the value of each person. And in one way, there's the value of how to live in the world and decisions to make, and people recognizing your frame of reality or their frame of reality as being dominant, and who's abundant and who's more scarce. Like I said, that's one realm of it. But then there's another realm where you're just with the other person, and because of that, that's enough. That's enough for both of you. Right? That it just feels good to be with another person and to share your experience with them. If you take away this kind of scarcity mindset where everyone's looking for resources and protecting their own, then you kind of miss the point. But if you come from a frame of not even a frame, but if you come from the frame of your own frame, where you genuinely enjoy your life, and you genuinely want to share your experience with other people because you live by your values so much that you enjoy your life so much and that you think that it's worthwhile for other people to hear about, then I mean that is a stronger frame of reality, you know, that is a more abundant mindset. But you don't really get that by trying something on. You don't get that by trying someone else's values on, you know. It's like, I studied advertising and PR in college, and one of the things that I was always wondering about when I was studying this is that if people actually knew the way that advertisements work, would that make them more effective or less effective on the person? And I always wondered this. And of course, you know, over time I learned about advertising. I learned about different sexual appeal and comparison, and you know, different techniques and stuff. And that's all nice, but in the end, I didn't really reach the answer for myself. But I have learned since getting into meditation and getting into the game that living in a city, living in modern society where there's lots of advertisements and media and portrayals of other people, I think that as children that we're conditioned by our parents to look for values outside of ourselves, and if we haven't reached a point in our life where we really had a chance to evolve on our own and maybe go through some pain and in order to discover that our own value is and our own values are the most important, then we may become conditioned to look to the media, so to speak, to find the values of how we should live our life. And there's some truth to that, you know. There's the world of collectivism with people and different ideas getting spread around and stuff like that. You know, that's all good, you know. And for the most part, we need that. You know, that's all right. But as far as finding those answers on your own, I think it's much more rewarding.
¿La luz? ¿Como el ordenador?
No.
¿No? Es todo el teléfono, todo en la luz. También se ve. Nada, no sé qué le tengo.
Vamos a
Oh guys, the first day I went on a free walking tour, as many people do when they go to European cities, and one of the places that we went to that was very impressive was this place here. It's a palace. I think it's one of the older palaces, but is now retired. And it's actually bigger than Versailles, so it has some very interesting features to it. See, it's quite beautiful. Then behind us is a large cathedral. I just missed recording the bell ringing about 8 times or so. And so very interesting. I want to show you guys. I'm just gonna run over here and hop up on the stone here. Is that, you know, Madrid is right in the middle of Spain. And I think it's one of the few places in the world where there still is plenty of room to go. Do you see over here how much room there is? It's quite a large city, but it can continue to expand as much as it wants, compared to most cities where they're blocked out by, you know, other cities or geography. Barcelona is blocked from growing by geography, but you see over here it's pretty much completely green out there. It's quite amazing, I think. It's one of the things that makes Madrid quite unique. So, cathedral, landscape, royal palace over there. Alright, let's go.
Gracias.
Well guys, this is my second day in Madrid, and came to a different part today. It's actually right next to the Jardine that I was at yesterday, but this is the Part de Retiro. And I was just thinking about what I was talking about yesterday, and I guess the video cut off, so I'll have to finish what I was basically saying. Was that I wanted to add that advertising and even role models, like role models are very helpful because they give us an idea of what we need to look up to, and so I definitely appreciate role models. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can tell I'm saying this up to kind of say that ultimately you still want to be living by your own values, I think, and so on one level, if you're looking at I guess a celebrity, and there's a celebrity endorsement for something, so it's wow, this guy's amazing, and can I ever be like him? Well, if it's I don't know, someone anyone, it could be someone spiritual, celebrity in Hollywood. It could be an athlete. It could be a great teacher. It could be anyone in the world. And you're never going to be like them, not for the reason that you're not good enough, but that what you have to offer is unique, and what they had to offer was unique, so it's not in some sense you can compare yourself to them to give yourself a sense of direction about where to go, and I think that having lots of good role models and mentors and stuff can be very helpful in that way. But at the same time, you want to also look at the chance to add your own mark, your own creativity, your own art to the mix. Maybe it's something kind of like how the brain is divided into the left and the right hemisphere, or the human desire for direction and emotion, logic and creativity rather. And that as you develop, then you have to learn the rules first before you break them, right? It's kind of like one of these things about how artists learn and stuff. But if you hold a role model or a mentor to be absolute, and to be who you have to be, who you have to judge yourself by, or even for me, judging myself by how well I am with women, that's another. Both of those paths are very unfulfilling, because at a certain point you're never going to be able to be that person exactly. You're never going to be able to fill those shoes. But what you do have is you have your own shoes. You have your own shoes to fill, and you have your own path to walk in those shoes. And other people can admire you for that. So it's kind of like learning to mix those things can really help you kind of find your own path, I guess. The mix between having direction and instruction versus adding creativity and your own sense of what's right for the world. The world's developing in a way that the challenges that we had, even 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a day, a year ago, are completely different than they are now. So the people who we look up to, they were responding to the challenges of their time. And so now it's now how do you respond to the challenges of now, How can we respond to that? That's the point that I'm trying to make, I guess. So like I said, it's worth looking up to them, but at the same time, you have to be responding to the present moment of what the world needs, and during our own lifetimes it changes as well, from day to day, and in my business school we learn about innovation. You have to always be innovating, and maybe it's the same for helping people and developing the world in a way, so that you have to always be working on your path and your direction, but but at the same time be open to new inputs. It's one of the essential paradoxes of life, actually, is that this is something that there is no absolute answer to, and it's what lends the joy of life is to discovery. You know, it's that maybe that's more of an answer for you, is that you have the chance to explore, but you'll never be satisfied, you know, completely. You know, there'll always be something that's not quite right, or the world's not quite right, or someone else doesn't quite, you know, someone else is suffering or something. You know, it's like, so you have the chance to discover and enjoy the journey of discovery, right? But at the same time, like, you have to bear in mind that it's never going to be complete in a way. It's never going to be completely fulfilling. And so, in that case, just enjoy it, you know. Well, guys, that's all from Madrid from me. And enjoyed making these videos as always. And be in Granada tomorrow. And I'll talk to you then, okay? Take care. So guys, this is the center of Madrid, and some nice sights here. Over there we saw the Metropolis building, I don't know what it does, and well, I don't know what this is either. But you can get the idea. It's a nice building. Madrid, capital del fútbol. Welcome to Seoul, the center of Spain. Well, this is definitely one of the more interesting product sponsorships I've seen. It says Azerbaijan Land of Fire, and it's for Atletico Madrid, the football team. Interesting. Alright, one more thing, guys. This is Plaza España. Alright guys, well, the final thing I want to show you on this tour of Madrid today is a gift that was actually from Egypt to Spain. It's this these nice kind of pyramid-like, they're called the pyramids here, but these nice pyramid-like structures, and pretty cool, I think. So guys, enjoy, and see you in Granada.